So far, it seems like UPS is actually doing some of the biggest layoffs I've ever seen. And UPS is closing their Denver area facility and one of the biggest Colorado layoffs in 2024. Now, UPS is one of several of these delivery companies wanting to go for automation, artificial intelligence, and robotics, all of which is just getting more advanced as time goes on. And it's actually kind of scary that anyone right now, no matter how good, how rare your job is at a risk of getting replaced by a robot. And UPS aims to save $3 billion by 2028. And of course, UPS is a private company. They're here for profit. And the best thing to do is to close facilities, lay people off, save money, and then you have fantastic earnings. And if you look at some of the earnings reports for these companies, they suck. Like UPS has experienced a fat drop in earnings in recent quarters. And it just seems just not doing so great. In fact, FedEx earnings were so bad in the past quarter, it dropped 11 to 12%, even a little bit more. And even now, a lot of these delivery companies haven't really recovered ever since hitting all-time highs a few months ago. So UPS is pretty smart. They're thinking like, okay, let's just lay off a bunch of people. Let's just close these facilities. But the biggest people who are impacted are people who work in these jobs. And 400 to 500 workers in this facility are laid off and without a job. And chances of these guys finding another job in the delivery sector and like the shipping sector is going to be very difficult because FedEx, DHL, they're all laying off employees. I think the only area that's not laying off employees is like USPS, but they're owned by like America. UPS is also laying off employees in the Baltimore warehouse in the summertime. Over 500 workers are laid off. And apparently this enormous Baltimore warehouse with dozens and dozens of trucks and hundreds of staff are all gone. And if you guys think these two stories are pretty crazy, like the Denver facility closing and the Baltimore facility closing, wait till you see this. UPS is to close 200 sites, expand distribution centers, and cost-cutting moves. They're straight up looking at artificial intelligence. They're closing properties and leases. Job cuts are basically everywhere. These massive UPS facilities, these are going to be the ones that are closing. The ones that are closing are going to be the smaller facilities, the customer service centers. These are going to be the sectors that will be closing down. It's actually kind of sad because these are going to be the sectors where a lot of Americans work at. So record layoffs, and if you guys want to see how bad the layoffs are getting, from January, we've already seen like 12,000 layoffs happening. And throughout 2024, we've seen a few hundred here, a few thousand here, and maybe a few dozen here and there. Adds up to tens of thousands of workers. We're seeing a lot of people being laid off. We're seeing a lot of facilities closing down. And easily, more than 12,000 people in 2024 have been laid off from UPS. And this number is not shrinking anytime soon, as UPS is pretty dead set about closing a lot of these distribution centers and going for artificial intelligence and using software and advanced robotics to improve efficiency and how it sorts and ships packages. Like I said, they want to save billions. It's no longer companies wanting to save a few $100 million. They want to save billions of dollars and become one of the most automated industries out there, the shipping business. And when you look into the feds, because the federal interest rates are so high, because loans are so expensive, companies can expand. We're seeing shipping prices just becoming cheap. And also, we're seeing a lot of these companies like UPS having lower amounts of income. I guarantee you, if UPS has incredible amounts of earnings, if businesses are constantly buying and shipping stuff, if American consumers are always on Amazon shopping, I guarantee you UPS stock will be going up. They will be hiring more employees and more facilities and warehouses will be opening up. But because of high interest rates, because unemployment is going up, because small businesses are closing down, because loans are so expensive that big companies can expand, we're actually seeing a lot of downgrades happening in the American economy. And the feds have already said numerous times that they may not be wanting to lower rates in December because inflation is still kind of high. Let's see what happens next. I feel like we're kind of in a very lose-lose situation here. Many Americans are kind of broke. Many Americans are foreclosing on their homes, record car repos, and it's just not looking so great at all.